What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Redline Racing Garage. So today we're going to be talking about the iPad that is installed in the EG. So I've got numerous messages and people asking me to make a video on how the iPad works, how it's installed and mounted, and all that kind of stuff. So I did decide to make a quick little informative video for you guys and show you how it is mounted and a little bit of how it works. So I am running a HONDATA app on the iPad itself, so that's what I use, and we're going to be talking a little bit about that. So let's hop in the EG and let's take a look. Alright, so we are in the EG now, and I just kind of wanted to talk about how the iPad is mounted before we actually get into the HONDATA app. So the way I did it was, well, actually I bought the car with the iPad already. It's just it wasn't properly mounted, so what I kind of figured doing was I did buy I actually bought 3 different cases, like the thinnest cases that I can find for the iPad, and I put the case on. I tried to fit it, but as you guys can see, the space around it's really tight, which is a good thing, but I couldn't get the iPad in there with a case. So what I had to do is I literally cut the case around, so I literally just have the back of the case mounted on the iPad. And then what I did was I put a bunch of super glue and then I stuck it to the back. So now the iPad is in place, it's not going anywhere, and at the same time I didn't damage the iPad. I am using the case which I put the super glue on, so it's not really damaging it. So that's the kind of way that I did install it. So another thing, as you guys can see, is I don't have any heat or anything like that, because this is mostly a race car, a drag car, and I do drive it on the street here and there, but in the winter time, as you guys can see right now, I'm sitting in my garage in the car and it is tucked away, it's parked. So now we can actually get into some HONDATA stuff. Alright, so let's go into the HONDATA app. It's right here. So I'm not gonna go into crazy detail because there is a lot to cover. Like, it would take me literally like maybe 4 hours just running my mouth about all the things that you can do, but we're gonna try to go through as much as we can, and I'll show you just pretty much all the basics, whatever you need to kind of get you started, and then once you do get started, you can kind of go and learn as you pretty much go. So that's what we're gonna do. So the way you see it right now, this is the dashboard where whenever you're driving, so this is your main screen. So first of all, you choose whatever template you want. So there's thinking about maybe 3 or 4. So if you do go and click, so you can choose this graph, this one, the digital one. So there's about 4. So you design your dashboard exactly the way you want it. So this is how I have mine set up, and then you can go through all the different templates. So what I use is pretty much RPMs and speed are my top 2, the biggest ones, and then you have another 4 small ones on the bottom. So I'm using coolant temp, boost pressure, intake, air temp, and then horsepower reading, and there's a bunch. So if you slide to the right, you're gonna get all your contents here, exactly what you're trying to look up. So dashboard you guys already seen, and then this one here is just a single gauge that you can, obviously, again, you can put whatever you want on it. So I don't use it a lot, but I do sometimes, and this is the revs. And then again, you can go digital, you can have this graph, so there's 2 options. So that's that. And then another thing is the gauge list. So you can have a list of all your gauges, and you can see there's a bunch of space for you to put your list. So I didn't really go through too many things. I didn't really add too much. I just figured whatever I needed the most, that's what I added, but there's still much more you can add and go through. So that's your gauge list. Now another neat thing about this is piloting. So they call it piloting, but this is actually live data logging. You have your boost pressure and your speed, and then you can literally data log live. So that's a really neat feature. So that's something that you can use, even your tuner can use it. So they really made this really good, user friendly, very easy to use. Another thing that you have is diagnostics. So if you go to diagnostics right now, I don't have the key in the ignition, so there isn't, it's not actually connected, so it does say device is not connected. So with this, you can actually go through your trouble code. So all your check engine light codes are going to show over here. There is a button over here saying that you can clear them. So this is a very useful, neat feature where you can see all your engine codes, you can address them, you can clear them. This I really like. So another really neat feature that I like is fuel economy. So if you go on fuel economy, it literally shows you live as you're driving all the average speed and your fuel consumption and all that kind of stuff. If you guys are into all that stuff, then this is perfect for you. There are 2 different graphs, so it literally shows you all the info you need, and it's calculated by week. So you have week 1 and then week 2 and then so on and so forth. So that's something really good as well. And then also you can hook up your dash cam. This is truly something else. So I don't have a dash cam, and I don't plan on installing one because race car. But you can install your dash cam if your car is a street car. So you would connect it via Bluetooth, obviously, and then you would have your dash cam over here, and then all your little gauges. Again, you can customize every single gauge and the way you want it to look. So that's another neat feature that I like. Another awesome feature that it does have is racetrack. So when you go to the track, you do laps and all that kind of fun stuff. So this is perfect for you. It shows your best lap, your last lap, your overall lap, your RPMs, your speed. Like, it literally tells you everything. Even your G-force, it calculates your G-force going into corners. Like, this thing is truly amazing. This I really like. So last but not least, you have settings. So we are gonna go into settings. So general, pretty much there is a theme. So I have midnight. You can go to basic. It's a little bit lighter, but I do prefer midnight. So it gives you a theme, and then you can also do a high coolant temperature warning. You can do a speed limit warning. Alright, so going back to the dashboard, so this is your main screen that you're always going to be using. So a little quick way to adjust it and change it is you literally hold on one of the gauges, whichever one that you want to adjust, and then this screen will come up. So here are all your different kind of settings. So I hope you guys can see it. I'm just gonna turn on the brightness all the way up so that you guys can see. So I held down on the RPM, so as you guys can see, there's a little blue check mark saying that's the one I'm using. So there's a couple. You have RPM, you have speed, you have gear, you have intake manifold pressure, map voltage. There's so much things that you can go through. So all of these you can monitor. It's a lot, guys. It's a lot. Now some of them you will need to actually install these sensors, so you can't really use every single one. Like all the traction control stuff, you actually have to go and purchase a HONDATA traction controller, and then you can use those settings. But I mean, literally just the basic things like your coolant temp, your intake temp, RPMs, like all that kind of stuff, like injector pressure and everything like that, you can actually access and use. Another thing is your so here you have fuel economy, boost pressure, horsepower, torque, and G-force. So that's the things that you can also use. So this is in the sensors section. So another neat thing that I use personally when I'm at the drag strip is the shift light. So that helps a lot as well, and I'll show you guys where you can set that up. So when you go into settings over here, then you go to gauge graph sensor setup, and then here is your shift light. So right now my shift light is enabled, and then it also plays a sound. You can choose the color, so you can choose yellow, orange, and green. I went with the yellow because I think that's what catches my eye personally. And then you set your red line. So mine is set at 73, which right now it should be at 76. So that's what my red line is set to now. So that's what I'm going to use. So that's perfect. So when you are enabling the shift light, the whole back of the screen just flashes, like turns on. So in my case, I chose yellow. So when it's time to shift, the whole screen just lights up all yellow. So I find that really, really useful, and I really like using it, and it does help. So yep, that's pretty much how the shift light works. Now there are a bunch of things again, but you guys are gonna have to kind of go and learn on your own. I'm just showing you the basic setup and the basic things that you can use. Alright, so right now I'm gonna go and start the car up, and then you guys can actually see how it looks like when the car is on and it's running and it's live. So let's do that right now. So now I'm gonna show you guys a little bit on the data logging graph, the piloting graph, and it looks amazing. Check this out. Racetrack section, and then as you guys can see, there are two options. So you have the track option, and then you also have the drag option. So it'll show you your ET, your 60-foot, literally exactly what you get when you go to the drag strip and they give you the slip at the end. This literally tells you everything. So this is truly really, really good. Alright guys, so that'll pretty much do it. I did go and try to get into as much detail as I could, but like I said, there's a ton that I still don't know, and I'm still kind of learning as I go. So with this app, you do have to purchase it from your app store. It does cost $20 Canadian. So obviously from your app store like Apple or Android, and then you'll be good to go. You don't need to use obviously a iPad. You can use a Android tablet as well, and then just install the app and then mount it in your car, and you should be good to go. So to connect your iPad or tablet to HONDATA, you obviously need a HONDATA product that is a Bluetooth device. So right now what I'm running is a K-Pro V4, so that is the Bluetooth edition, and that's why I am able to connect the app to the HONDATA via Bluetooth. So I know that there is a S300 out there that is a Bluetooth. There are Flash Pros out there that are Bluetooth. So this will only work with a Bluetooth HONDATA device. That's the only way you can connect it. So there's also a cheaper alternative. If you guys don't have a HONDATA, or maybe you don't have the Bluetooth version, there is still a way you can do that. Online on Amazon, they do sell these OBD2 like chips that you install into your OBD2 port, and it's like a reader. So it kind of does the same thing. It monitors your engine and all these things. So it might not have a lot of features, as much features as HONDATA, but the basic things you can probably get on there. And then what you do is you just buy a regular tablet, if it's an iPad, or it doesn't matter, just a regular tablet, and then you can connect that also via Bluetooth, and then that you'll just get all your things. So you'll get your RPM reading and all these little basic things. You can do that. So there, like I said, there also is a different kind of way you can do this, and it probably is a lot cheaper as well. So that's something you guys can also do. Alright guys, so that'll pretty much do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully a little bit of that information helped you out as much as it could. And yeah, so please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out, guys.